Tonight on Ghost Stories. As a boy, young bugmancx always had trouble sleeping. As an adult, he would often wake up to find the house in a complete wreck or strange new objects appearing the next morning, unable to explain how they got there. I don't know how to explain it. I just wake up and find things have moved around, blocks have been removed, or sometimes I wake up to find these really weird builds right inside of my house. So we decided to set up 15 hidden cameras across his home to find out exactly what was going on. As Bugman puts himself to sleep, all seems normal until... Notice how he starts to get restless? Perhaps it's a nightmare. He begins tossing and turning violently in his bed until this happens. What you're watching is raw, unedited footage. Unbelievably, Bugman seems capable of freely moving his body, unsupported in a sleeping position. This is not a trick of the camera. As he moves around the house in a seemingly deep sleep, he seems to levitate himself down the stairs. His body flickers between light and shadow as if there's a battle going on inside of his body. Unexpectedly, he moves towards the kitchen and turns into the storage hall where he seems to rummage through the chests. What could he be looking for? He glides back to the living room, breaking a couple of blocks along the way, where he seems to stop. And I'll just let the footage speak for itself here. He seems to be building a bizarre structure in his own living room. Perhaps it's a shrine to the gods. And with little hesitation, he makes his way back upstairs and back to bed. Could it be spirit possession, an out-of-body experience? I'll let you be the judge. I'll see you next time on Ghost Stories. Oh, they absolutely put some rubbish on television these days, don't they? Anyway, back to the housework. Good morning, everyone. It's me, bugmancx. I'm just being very quiet because I don't want to draw attention to myself. There are quite a few mobs down here and I don't want any of them to attack me. Because as you know, in Minecraft, there is no way to sleep the night away and we have to wait until sunrise every day to get rid of these pesky mobs that are always annoying us and killing us and getting in our way. That is, until Minecraft Beta 1.3. Now, I'm in a very special version of Minecraft Beta 1.3, which I showed off briefly in the last episode. And in this version, a little bit of debug code was accidentally left in the game, and that code gives us beds, tools, and torches every time we spawn into the world. So, it's a good thing I've got next to no health up here, because I'm going to throw myself off the cliff, and we're going to exploit this bug a little bit and build up our supply of tools and beds, and then, yeah, today's episode, it's going to be all about the beds, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's go! Right, as I respawn, my inventory should fill up, as it does, with torches, a pick, shovel, axe, and of course a stack of beds. Now what's special about this stack of beds is that beds are not normally stackable in Minecraft, so this is a very special thing that we need to keep in our world rather, as a treasure. And I think that what I'm going to do is go upstairs here, because up here I do have a special chest, and inside the special chest we have our very first diamond and our very first diamond pickaxe from way back in the beginning of the game. So what I'm going to do here is just put all of these items that we've gotten for free in this chest, and that way we have a keepsake, and we also have a keepsake for the stack of Minecraft beds here that you normally can't get unless you have special situations like this. Now what we can do is we can exploit that bug, or that debug feature I should call it, so that if we kill ourselves over and over again, we can build up our supplies of tools and beds and torches. So I'm going to do this a few times and build up that supply, because why not use it while it's in the game before we upgrade to the proper version of beta 1.3. And if I respawn, there we go, another full hotbar of goodies. So I'm just going to do this over and over again. Oh, this is going to be great. Whee! Have a look at this. My hotbar is full of goodies, my inventory is full of goodies, and at the same time, this double chest up here is now also full of goodies. So what is that? That would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows of us exploiting this, and that's all we're going to do. We're not going to push this any further than that. We've done it now, and I also need to upgrade to the proper release of Minecraft Beta 1.3 anyway, because it seems that this version has an issue where whenever I enter the Nether, the game crashes. So let me upgrade to the 1750 version of Minecraft, and then we can continue on having a closer look at this new feature, the bed. For now, I've put all of that away safely, because before we get into the bed in detail, I want to take a step back and have a look at Minecraft before the introduction of beds. As we know, each world has a concept of world spawn. This is the location where new players will first appear in the world, and also the place you get sent back to if you happen to die somehow in the game. In the real world, death is permanent, but in games like this, dying is merely an imposition to the player. You don't lose any progress in the world in terms of building, but you are penalised by dropping all of your carried items and get sent back to spawn with nothing. So it'd be then up to the player to decide whether they want to try and go back and recover their lost items, or just carry on from spawn with a fresh start. But Jeb had other ideas in the works which would allow players to reset their spawn location to make this whole process a little bit easier on the player. But it wasn't originally going to be beds. So what was it going to be? When Beta 1.3 was released to the public, players discovered a mystery texture in the game's main texture file. At the time, nobody knew exactly what it was or how you might obtain it or craft it, because this mystery block hadn't been mentioned anywhere in any of the release notes for this version. But just as we've seen before, sometimes the devs accidentally leave things in the public releases that were never intended to be there, and this block was exactly that. Well, it was only the block's texture that had been added to the game. No code for the block ever existed in a public release. The day after the Beta 1.3 release, players asked Jeb what this was, and Jeb stated, "Yeah, it's an abandoned project I had." Over the next few weeks, he gave a bit more detail about it, saying that the abandoned project was a change spawn obelisk, and that this was planned to be added before they added beds. Jeb also confirmed how it might have been crafted. So let's have a look at it. We don't know what the recipe would have been exactly, but we can take a few liberties here. So here I've fiddled around with the game's assets a little bit to make it a little bit easier for us to craft up a fictional crying obsidian block. Over here in this chest we have an approximation of what the crafting recipe could look like. So we've got some obsidian surrounding a piece of lapis lazuli. And so if we take that over to the crafting bench, I'll be able to make a crying obsidian block using these items. So if I take my lapis and put it in the middle, and then use the obsidian to surround the block like so. There we go. There's the crying obsidian block. You can see it in the inventory here, what it would have looked like if I was carrying the item. So it looks like this in my inventory right here. Now let's find a place to put this down and have a look at that. It's definitely very blue, and it looks like it's mixed in with the obsidian, but it also brings out the blueness of the obsidian, I guess, with these extra liney bits here. I'm not sure what else to make of this or how you would have used it to be able to reset your spawn point, but this is what it could have looked like if it was rendered as a block. Now that we have access to beds within the game, I suppose we can take a closer look at them. So over here I have a crafting table, and the recipe for a bed is to take 3 wool and then 3 planks, and from that you get yourself a bed. I've got quite a few here, and as we can see, the bed is very, very small. It's also red, because red is just the standard color of the bed, and they've always been red from the very beginning, and they'll stay red for quite a long time. until the World of Color update, which is far into the future from our perspective, where you can actually dye beds to get different colors. So I think it's time we upgrade this miserable mattress here and turn it into an actual proper bed. So first I need to get rid of these blocks here because, I mean, while they were comfortable, they're just not cutting it really, are they? And by the time we've finished here, even though the beds themselves are really small and this space is really large, hopefully it'll look fairly seamless. Ugh, can you imagine just having one little tiny bed like that? It's so small. No, we need to do better than that. Okay, let's fill it out like this. And then the ones on the back here make the bed look a lot larger, and perhaps that little layer at the end there can be a bit like, it's like a disco floor. They all do it. Anyway, that bit can be like an extra quilt or something like that, but by combining the beds like this, at least it gives the illusion that the bed itself is a lot larger, especially in a bedroom of this size, where a tiny bed just doesn't really fit. But for now, I think it's time to have a closer look at the properties of the bed. And to do this, we're going to introduce a new segment called Experimenting in the Bedroom. No, you can't use that. Wait, what do you mean I can't use that? Okay, I'll try again. All right. Why not join me upstairs and help me test the bed? No. No? No? Okay, we're going to have to try something totally different. It's time for science stuff with me, bugmancx. And in this segment, we're going to be doing some industry-certified scientific testing of the new beds in Minecraft. So why don't you join me down here at experiment point number 1 and we can get started. Our first experiment today is called What Time is Bedtime? And in this experiment, as you can see, you've been given a clock and I've been given the sunset and this bed. You can keep an eye on the sunset and I'm going to continuously click on this bed until the game allows me to sleep. And then we'll know exactly what time bedtime is. So surely it should be soon because the sun is about to go down behind the horizon. My arm is getting tired from all this clicking, but you know, you got to suffer for the science, right? Okay, it shouldn't be long now. The sun is almost down. There it goes. So, looks like just as the sun goes beyond the horizon is exactly when I'm able to go to sleep. So, thanks for joining me. You know. Hey! Jeez. I can't believe I fell asleep on the job. This next experiment is called Suspended Sleep, and in it we're going to test to see whether that bed up there can stay hovering without any supporting blocks. So I've sharpened my axe. Let's break that block and then that block. And as you can see, the bed is capable of suspending itself in mid-air unsupported. That is fantastic. And if you have a look at those legs, the inside texture is missing. That's a little strange, but something we've come to deal with Minecraft. It's just how the game works. Now, part 2 of this experiment involves me testing whether I can sleep suspended in mid-air. So all I need to do now that the sun's gone down is right-click on the bed, and the game has put me to sleep. However, oddly enough, from your perspective, I seem to be standing looking at the stars. From my perspective, I'm fast asleep. What happens if we change the time on the server so that it suddenly becomes daytime? That should boot me out of bed, right? Okay, time, add 12,000. And just like that, it's daytime. Now that should have kicked me out of bed, but it hasn't. Clicking the leave bed button doesn't do anything either. So how am I going to get out of bed? Don't tell me you're going to have to come to the rescue again. Oh dear, okay, fair enough. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm now safe. I'm out of bed and back to normal. Now, this next experiment is something I like to call sleeping in a ditch. We're going to see if it's possible for me to place the bed down in the hole and then sleep in it. So, as long as that sun goes down over the horizon, which it is, and I start to click on the bed, I can only sleep at night. But hold on a minute. From my perspective, I'm not sleeping, but have a look at your perspective. You can see me in the bed. So, it appears I can move my head around. This is really strange because I'm literally standing on the sand. So what happens if I can move around like a ghost? Oh, okay. This has to be one of the weirdest bugs in Minecraft yet. Whoa. So what's going on here? Well, this has something to do with multiplayer versus single player. You see, in single player, it wouldn't be possible for me to sleep in a bed while it's buried in a ditch like this. The game would simply say you can only sleep at night, which is its way of telling me that I can't sleep at all. But in multiplayer, the game doesn't think that I can't sleep. In fact, it thinks that I did sleep, and so from the other player's perspective, I'm lying in the bed. From my perspective, I'm all normal and I can just move around freely like this. So, because of the different rendering from the other player's perspective versus my player's perspective, things look very bizarre. And as I move around the world like this, from the other player's point of view, I'm doing it while I'm sleeping. Weird, huh? This one should be quick and easy. It's simply titled, Can I Sleep Under Blocks? Well, I've set up these 2 log blocks over this bed and it's completely cast in shadow, but let's find out. Yes, I can. This gives me an idea. If I can sleep under blocks, can I sleep in a hole? I'm intrigued. Yep, yes I can. What happens when I get out of bed? Uh-oh. Someone get me out of here, please. Experiment 6. Can I place a bed in water? Let's see if we can. I'm right-clicking. Nothing's happening. I guess that's a bust. In this next experiment, we're going to work out if I can sleep when I'm surrounded by water source blocks. So I've already placed this bed down in the hole and then filled it in with water source blocks on top of it and around it. And this is an experiment which I like to call Wet Dream. No. And this is an experiment I like to call Can I Sleep Surrounded by Water? And down goes the sun. Let's try this out, shall we? If I right-click on this bed, you can only sleep at night. I wonder, this bed is occupied. Looks like another one of those situations where the game is trying to let me sleep, but is also telling me that I can't sleep. This bed is occupied. Occupied by whom? It doesn't look occupied to me. Oh well, I think we'll call this one inconclusive. Experiment 8. Bouncy bottoms. Oh dear. That's right, in this experiment we are going to fall from a very unsafe height of 22 blocks, which should take us down to half a heart. And in fact, if I land here, I should get myself down to half a heart. So let's climb up. I feel like an Olympic diver. I mean, ooh, this is high. Okay, ready? Whoa! Ooh! Oh, okay. Brace yourself. Now, no jumping, just falling. Ready? Go. Oh, that's half a heart. All right, okay. Ooh. Now, if the bed is bouncy, it should soften my fall, and maybe I'll bounce up and down a couple of times or something like that. But bouncing on the bed is fun, right? Okay. Let's see what happens. I need to eat something, and then we're going to climb up the second tower. If you were paying attention, you might have noticed that the bed is actually 1 pixel higher than the half slab, which I think makes this a full block in terms of how the game calculates fall damage. I think. So, what I need to do is climb to the bottom of this tower. Not the bottom, the top. I've got bottoms on the brain. And I need to climb to the top of this tower and then increase our height by at least 1 block. So I do have some extra logs here. Why don't we make it 2 blocks? Now, if the bed is indeed bouncy and does soften our fall, as it should, all good mattresses should be nice and cozy, then we're going to survive. Otherwise, it could be certain death. All right, let's give this a go. And we just need to walk off the edge. Oh, I knew I should have ordered the softer mattress. It's our final experiment, the crafty cactus. In the crafty cactus, we're going to discover whether the humble cactus can break a humongous bed. So if I place the bed next to the cactus... Wow, look at that. Let's clear these up. We get half a bed. Now this is exactly the same bug that we've seen with the doors in Minecraft, and we used that. We put that to our advantage over here, didn't we? We used it for decoration here, and even in the house. So maybe there's something we can do with this. It looks pretty funky from this side because there are no rendered textures from this angle, but from over here, it looks like a little stool or something. I don't know. Give me some ideas about how we can use this in a build, because I'd like to incorporate different ideas like this. I think it would be quite fun to do. Well, I hope you, like me, learned some new things about the Minecraft bed, which is brand new to the game in Beta 1.3. Of course, I think we'll learn more about it even still in the upcoming episodes, but for now, that's all we've got time to cover. So if you enjoyed today's episode, thank you very much for watching, and of course, a huge special thank you to my amazing patrons. If you enjoyed the content but haven't yet subscribed, then feel free to whack that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel, because you'll get to see more amazing content like this. And of course, there's a link to Discord down below. Oh, and some other things too. Anyway, for now, that's the end of the episode. This has been bugmancx. You've been watching Minecraft: The Journey. Science! I know, I left out the most important experiment of all, but since you stayed right until the end of the episode, you get to experience this one with me. Okay, are you ready to see if we can sleep in the nether? I'm ready. Let's do this. Oh. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. See ya!